afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Joey Evans.
Somebody's not on.
I'm not. Am I on?
If
Can
you're
you hear
4
me?
or 1, you're not.
I'm on.
I'm not on.
Shoot, am I on?
Hey, everybody.
I'm on.
Definitely
Am I on?
on now.
Okay.
my
Welcome
goodness.
to our top 10 dungeon crawls for board games.
Oh wait, I'm Camilla. I don't think I said it. We didn't make it to me.
Got it.
Thanks.
This is Camilla.
Hi, Camilla.
Hey, Joey.
You forgot my name a second, didn't you?
Yeah.
So dungeon crawls is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I did it by myself like 5 years ago.
That's
a top
just
10
sad.
on my own.
That's just sad.
It's not sad.
It is.
It's
Do
a
a dungeon
little
crawl.
lonely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little.
No.
I'm sad.
I feel bad for you.
You want me to find you a
Anytime.
friend?
We'll be there for
This
you
is
when you
Roy.
do more dungeon. Yeah. You and Roy should hang out.
Wow. You didn't offer.
No, not taking applications.
So dungeon crawls. Dungeon crawls originated from, well, Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games where you went into a dungeon. If you think about it, dungeons are not particularly thematic. To have this big thing where you go in a room and there's a couple monsters in that room with a treasure chest, and then you go into the next room. But I once played with a Dungeons and Dragons with a DM. He's like, I'm going to be as realistic. There wouldn't be this. And I was like, oh, man.
Yes.
I want to go in a room and fight a couple monsters and have a treasure chest.
It is generic, but you come to expect it and you want it, even though it's generic. Still
Yeah,
what I
it's
want.
kind of relaxing.
That being said, what is a dungeon crawl? So,
Oof.
I want to be clear. We discussed this a little bit beforehand. We didn't want to get too specific about it, but we're going to do, in the future, we're going to do our top 10 adventure games.
Yes!
Right.
Can I do that one? Can I be in it? Dibs.
Nope, Tom's doing it alone.
Nope. Oh,
I already did it. No. So I had to separate what's an adventure game and what's a dungeon crawl. And then dungeon crawl, I'm specifically, and you're going to see that on my list, I feel like it's a type of game, not necessarily fantasy genre.
agreed.
Yes.
I think you can have a
Agreed.
space dungeon crawl.
Yes.
They fit into that genre.
Ooh, I sure
Yes.
hope you think that.
I think
Yes.
there's three main kinds of these S games. There is the adventure game, there's a
Right.
dungeon crawl,
Right.
and there's boss battlers.
Yeah.
The problem with boss battlers is they can fall into dungeon crawl range. You could argue over which
Yeah.
one's which.
Yep.
And even adventure games, like, go back, an example of an early adventure game would be Runebound. Runebound, you travel across the land and you did various things, but that's not a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, I think
Right.
there's definitely a Venn diagram between these three categories,
I
right?
agree.
And there's quite a bit of crossover in each. Like it's a tight Venn diagram.
And there's some probably that fit into all of them in the middle, but very rare.
Yeah, that's how a Venn diagram works. So like the
Oh, I
circles
know
are
that.
together,
You're
like-
horrible. But no, I agree. I mean, some of them, yeah, there were some I left off and like I could have put on.
Right.
So I'm curious.
I agree.
Up to 20 years ago, there was almost no dungeon crawls, board games. There was 2, maybe 3. And then a few came around, and now in the last couple of years we have a plethora,
Yep.
and we have not played them all. I have 47 on my list. I numbered my list from 1 to 47.
Really?
I had less than that, and that's all we need to say.
That way, when you guys give yours, you'll be like, that's number 47. Because if this one's on your list, Joey, and it might make your list, if this one's on your list, your entire list is invalidated. Because that's how bad this game
Have I
is.
played
That's
that
my
one?
Number 47. You have played it. And you like it.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
I will criticize you. This is the worst dungeon crawl I've ever played.
I mean, kind of
You like it?
got a little panic attack. I do like
You
it.
do like it. Well, if there's not a game on your list that you think I hate,
Oh, there's a couple.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the game?
like a 3 or 2.
What?
Oh man,
No,
I
you,
think this
not-
one might have been the one that fell off my list because I didn't want to go through that conversation.
You're going through that conversation anyway.
I think.
Is it black and white?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so it didn't make your list?
No, it fell right off at 11.
We're talking about
What is
Escape the Dark Castle.
Yes.
That is my number 47.
That was the last minute. That's why I was late getting these out because I was about to send it to him. Like, I'm not gonna have to go through that conversation. So
Yeah,
I
you
said,
are.
It just-
Yeah, you are.
because of this guy. Oh my gosh.
Also, don't be a wimp. Put the game in.
That's right.
Oh, no, it really was. I wasn't sure if it would classify as a dungeon crawl because there's no minis, there's no whatever. It was just kind of card based.
No, card base is not bad. We're not eliminating card base.
Oh no, I'm wondering what
what?
you put on there.
We
Okay,
are doing card based or no?
We
if it's a
are.
dungeon crawl,
Oh yeah, no, I definitely have card based.
You're going to disagree, folks. Be prepared.
man.
They've
Here,
already mentioned Oathsworn in the comments. I was like, I took that off the list because I consider that more of a adventure meets boss battler.
I agree.
I do too. That was on my list.
Alrighty, let's go to number 10. Go.
Oh, wait, me? Okay, I'm just watching Chris move stuff. Okay, so, all right, here you go. So this first one is, I was just kicking it off right about. This is not in a fantasy theme. This game is probably the most broken on my list, but I really enjoy this game. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses, but even when it misses fantastically. And this is Betrayal at House on the Hill.
I did not even consider this. I'm so excited for you and me because I love it.
This one is, I mean, it is a dungeon crawl in every sense of the word because you are exploring a haunted house. And as you go through there, you are trying to get all your different items. You're going to slowly do your things until the haunt happens. The haunt always picks someone at random, and it is always the least experienced person at this game.
No doubt.
Every time.
100%.
Yeah, if you're playing with your grandmother will be the person that is a haunt.
She is going to be the traitor.
Yeah, so it's just...
Or the werewolf or
That
whatever
is
it is.
Really,
It is.
every time.
Yep.
And but this is a fun game. I really enjoy it, and this is all theme. You know,
When that happens, though, do you stick with it or do you change it?
lately at first
yeah.
I was stick with it, but now I just switched
I
it.
was like, hey, no, hold on. I drew that, you
Yeah.
didn't. 'Cause
Until
it doesn't
one moment-
matter. Yeah.
Where the person left and they came back in, they're like, we didn't read it. I'm like, okay, then this is not going to work out well. But this is a great game. It's fun because when it clicks, it's just a fun, exciting game. And I know every October we play it, but I think it's a good game year round.
I did not consider this one, so now it's my number 29. I now have
Really?
48. But I would say that Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is better.
I've not played that yet.
But this is.
No, I get it.
Haunted
But Betrayal at
House.
Baldur's Gate doesn't have as many errors in the game. I would say a good half of Betrayals at Baldur's Gate, maybe a little bit less, are you against the game, which I think is a fun way to end it.
Oh, okay. It has
Oh,
more
yeah,
of
so
that stuff?
no traitor, really?
Yeah.
Because
And
there's
then
a couple of those in this as well.
Betrayal Legacy.
I want to play
Okay,
that.
I've not tried that
And then
yet.
there's this Scooby-Doo one,
Scooby-Doo is fantastic.
which is great because they're like, there's a betrayer. Pick who it is.
Yes.
And then Dad goes, it's me.
Oh.
Or Mom.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my son always wants to be it. I'm like,
Does he?
what? Oh, every time he wants to be it. You're surprised by that.
No,
He is
surprised.
a traitor IRL. So,
That stands for in real life.
yes, it does. And I meant what I said.
That was for you old people.
Just found that out.
Great pick. I did not
yeah.
consider it. That's my 10.1.
I'm bad at
It's called
1,000.
11, but all right.
No, it's not. It's 10.1. I plan to have multiple. My number 10 is Stuffed Fables. I
Okay.
really like this. It's going to be a family weight campaign dungeon crawler, but it's not set in a dungeon, so it is one of these more real world settings to start. So it has a neat story.
Yeah, it's a really,
Like-
really brief for a whole
It's like
real
a
world
real
setting.
start. You start out in the little girl's bedroom. She has to sleep in her bed for the first time, so she's moving from her parents' bed into her own bed. And you are playing as the stuffed animals. These baddies come in and steal her blanket, and then you have to go on this grand adventure to recover her blanket so that she can be comfortable and sleep through the night and keep these like nightmares at bay. And it's really just an engaging story, simple dice play, I guess, what do you call it? Dice lead kind of play
Yeah.
where you take the dice and you roll them based on the color and the pips, determines what actions you can take, but still very simplified where kids can play it and pick it up. But it's engaging for adults too, and I love the story, and this has led to a lot of interesting conversations with my son while when we were playing. I mean, he never had a problem sleeping in his own bed, but it does deal with like her fear, her anxiety, or overcoming problems and problem solving, and so I just think it's just so very well done, and I think very approachable for kids, but interesting enough for adults. It moves at a quick pace through it, and very quickly becomes engaging where you're in. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's lots of different settings. You know, some you end up going on this grand adventure through multiple different, I don't want to say
Also, you can
nightmare
have He-Man
scenarios.
join you.
You can, with the expansion, you have He-Man, some of those classic, and a unicorn as well in the expansion. So anyway, yes, really, really like this one as a dungeon crawler, even though it's specifically a kids. As an adult, I definitely enjoyed playing through this as well.
This is
Yeah.
yours was 29. Yours is 27. Ooh. But here's why I put these lower.
point
In
for
fact,
me.
I'm going to say this now is I know dungeon crawler that's specifically made for kids made my top 10 because I was picking
I
for
agree.
me here. But you know,
wait, none
shout
did?
out none. I'm not saying they're bad. They just didn't make my personal level.
I like my family more, so one made my top 10.
I would say, this one was the exception. This is the exception for me because when the expansion came out, my son didn't really want to play it because he doesn't really care about He-Man, and it just had no nostalgia, and we played through it. But I considered going and playing it just for me.
He-Man is
'cause-
actually in the expansion?
It's not called a He-Man,
It's not.
but it's definitely He-Man.
It is.
It's like an action figure, like you know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, my number 10 is the card game one we were talking about earlier.
Escape
This
the
did not
Dark.
start. No, are you kidding? This started out as a deck builder, and it still is a deck builder, but it now feels like a dungeon crawl to me, and that's Thunderstone Quest.
Oh,
So
okay.
Thunderstone Quest,
Yeah.
especially if you play Epic, which is the best way to play, and if you play the Dice Tower Library version, the only way, because there's so many cards that it used to be you pick 10 decks of cards,
Okay.
and then you would buy cards from those 10 decks. I did instead of having 10 decks of cards, I make a pile of all the swords, and there's like 2 of each sword in that pile shuffled together. There's 2 of each bow. There's 2 of each club. And then there's 2 of each warrior, 2 of each cleric, and things like that. And so you're buying all kinds of people, and you make your party, and at some point in this game, you're like, we'll go through the dungeon. And then you go through the dungeon, and you fight a monster and everything. And I really like it. It's not as straight dungeon crawl, but I feel like it's not just a deck builder. It's a deck builder that becomes a dungeon crawl. In fact, BGG says that Catacombs is a dungeon crawl. I'm less inclined on that one. Hopefully not spoiling anyone's future picks here. I like Catacombs a lot. It's more of a dungeon run than a crawl, if that makes sense.
So you actually
It's,
run it.
it's sneak in, get out. But
Oh, interesting.
Thunder Quest feels that you go in and you fight, and I really like it. So that's my number 10.
That's good.
Chapalooza.
We could do that.
Yeah, that one- I wanna
I'm
try it,
super
but again, I'm
intimidated.
too intimidated.
Where do I start?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's our
You
next
know?
Cachapooza. I've been dying to play it.
Yeah?
Thunderstone Quest?
Yes.
Dibs on that too.
Yeah, you decided where to start.
Oh, Monday.
Oh, you know that I can like on Monday you're doing?
Oh,
No,
you're
Mondays
the
we'll play it
worst.
live, not Catch-a-Palooza.
No, we switch. One's one.
I thought I
week and
saw.
one's
Oh,
the
was I
other.
looking at the following week?
Okay, so anyway,
what's your number
mine is an older game that I just kind of got into, and it is awkward because it is a dungeon crawl that mixes with dexterity. Yeah, so my number 9, oh buddy, yeah, ironic, it is Catacombs.
Wait, you finally played it?
I did.
When'd you play it?
I played it. I just discovered this a couple months ago because I stole the extra copy they had here, and it's great. I don't know.
told you.
It is so bad. I wanna play it.
This game should not be nearly as fun as it is because I know technically this is probably not a dungeon crawl.
No.
It's a
this is a
dungeon run.
dungeon crawl.
It's
I
but the
thought you just
fact.
said it wasn't.
Well, I mean,
No,
it's like.
no. Did I say Catacombs?
You did.
Oh, I meant Clank. Sorry.
Oh,
Clank.
good. Okay. Whew, I was nervous about this. I'm
You
like,
don't
this is
think-
going to
you
get
like
really weird.
Catacombs? You don't think that's a dungeon crawl?
I really sat and thought about it for a long time, actually. But you're not really doing. I guess there's a little bit. It's edge case.
It is. So that's why it's on my honorable mentions because of that. So
I meant
anyway.
Clank. Catacombs.
Okay.
Oh,
You're
okay.
way
All
up on
right.
Catacombs.
Thank you.
Great
'Cause-
choice.
Okay, so there, and here's why this right here just all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work. You're flicking, ends up you get closer, but then when you start shooting arrows, I mean, you're like, I could hit it behind that pillar. Pew! I mean, it's so good.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about line of sight.
No.
But also, like
I
the
love it.
Barbarian disc, he gets the special ability where he can attack 4 times in a row. So you flick, 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 flick.
Oh my god.
And they're like, that's his
Yes.
He just hulks him across the room. I mean, this game is
there a necromancer?
great.
I think so. There's so much now. And
And the symbols get kind of overwhelming later, but it's
you just play with
Well,
them
when you
as
get
they come out.
overwhelmed, you just,
right.
you know.
That's the thing. Yeah. So this is a great. If you haven't tried it, this game really holds up. It's just fun.
Can we catch
Okay.
a blues of that one too?
Yes. Not on a Monday
Thanks.
though. The worst.
Oh, that's right. It is a Monday.
Mondays are my favorite days.
That hurts.
All right, my number 9, I think, in my mind, is it feels like a very classic dungeon crawler, but with a zombie theme, and I specifically like Zombicide Invader. That's my favorite of the Zombicide series, I guess, or whatever. So that's the one I picked, but I think you could put any of the Zombicide in here. I really like how you just feel the whole game has such a great tension to it, where it's like, oh, we're getting overrun. There's no way. I mean, look at this picture. There's so many baddies on the board. There's no way. And then you go in there, you're just like, you're like, I'm so powerful. And then you like wipe the board out, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. And then next round, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do it again. It's so overwhelming. It's just like such a great.
I'm more worried about getting from one room to another without running out of air. But yes.
Yeah, but that's cool too. You know, and then like you have this whole you're in dark and you're not in dark, and so things will work differently. I just really love the balance of you feeling so powerful and so underpowered at the same time. You know, you're underpowered, there's no way, oh my gosh, let's just do the best we can, and then, I just like wiped the whole floor out, this is amazing. Wait, you can't, if we go and tag team this together, we can do this. It's just such a great energy to it. I really, really like it. And Invader, like I said, is my favorite because I like the theme the best, as well as I'm a huge fan of Project Elite, and there's that crossover pack, so I can play my Dante, that's my character from Project Elite. I love bringing it over to Zombicide Invader.
I did not know there was a crossover
Oh,
pack.
it's so good! Because then you can get them, and then you can play these characters in Project Elite if you want. Oh, it's so great. It's so exciting. I love it. You want to play? We can catch up Palooza it. I'll teach you.
You can use these guys in Project Elite?
Yes, you can.
It's a busy Monday.
This game might come out of the Dice Tower Library.
We come out of it?
What? What do you mean? What?
Because then I will take the characters and stick them in Project Elite.
Ooh. All right, this is the
Project
only...
Elite ain't leading. It's the only one you haven't played?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Have you played Return of the Living Dead? Night of the Living
Yeah,
Dead?
I love that one. Yeah.
I think that's my favorite, but I don't know. That one's the one that's not closest to a dungeon crawl.
No.
But that's more like Defend Your Castle.
Right. That's very thematic.
But I like, this is actually, you're moving up, but this is 17 on my list.
Heyo.
When I put all the zombies together,
this your
I would
favorite
pick
too?
Marvel. No, Marvel.
Okay, right.
Well, no, Night of the Living Dead, then Marvel.
Got it. All right.
I will say the Marvel one I think has the
Better rule set.
mechanisms,
Right.
that I like better. And Zombicide gets a lot of, I don't want to say hate, but catches a lot of crap for being too easy.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't mind that. I love that feeling, powerful feeling, and you still have enough tension from how quickly the invaders and the aliens coming. And they're aliens. Come on, it's so
Yeah.
cool. So good. I love Zombicide Invader. It's my number 9.
All right, my number 9, if you go look or read or listen to my reviews of this, I often have said, it's not really a dungeon crawler, it's a cooperative game. However, it's also a dungeon crawler. I'm negating past Tom. No, this is actually a series of games, and I don't know which one Chris put on there, but Castle Ravenloft, Legends of Drizzt,
Really?
Wrath of Shardlan. I really like these games.
I do too. I didn't think you would.
They're very simple, right?
Yes.
The thing about these games is they're one-offs, which, by the way,
Right.
is nice. I like campaigns, but I also like not always having to do a campaign. And in this, you're playing D&D, very, very loose D&D. You're just running around. You turn over a tile, a monster shows up. The more of these games you have, the more crazy you can make it.
Yeah.
You know, you get a deck of monster cards this high. But if you play with just one set, it's more thematic. Like, oh, I'm playing, and there's mummies and skeletons, and this one is dark elves and whatever. And then you have these characters, and then you roll d20 and try to hit them. You have special powers. You have one-shot powers. You can level up to level 2, and that's it. That's the whole
Yes.
game, and you get better. And I find it to be very enjoyable. Now, they tried to, in the recent one, they made a campaign setting for it. And WizKids has picked this up and is still producing them. I put Legends of Drizzt here because he's the most popular character. It is probably their most popular set.
I like the Wrath of a Shardlan or whatever. That's one I played probably the most.
That's the second one. Castle Ravenloft was the first. That was vampires. Wrath of Shardlan did with dragon. This was the third one. And then there's a whole bunch of them. They're all interchangeable, and I like them.
Yeah,
but
these are really
it is
good.
kind of a cooperative game because you're like, okay, you go here, and I'll do this because you're
Right.
trying to win. But it's fun.
I can still understand what you're saying. Like a lot of these are cooperative dungeon crawlers. A lot of them are cooperative. So what do you mean? This is cooperative, not dungeon crawler.
It's really hard to say. Dungeon crawlers, I think, kick the door and we fight the monsters.
You have to
do
work
that
together.
here, but it's very much. It almost feels more like a puzzle sometimes.
Yes.
I'm like, do not reveal that tile, because I'm going to do this and that,
Okay.
and you have to get you have to find whatever it is, a certain number of things, because you're flipping over tiles, and the dungeon is like random. But it's still
Interesting.
fun.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but yeah, they're good.
I'm
Looks
wondering
good.
if you're not going to like some of my picks then.
Well, I think these are
No, I'm saying because I'm wondering by that if I have
so
some
far. Your
cooperative.
picks have been fine.
They've been great.
Pretty good so far.
Come on.
So
That's
far.
my number
I'm
9.
doing great.
So far. Okay, so now we're on number 8. Now, number 8 was, you mentioned, it was almost a crossover with you, but this one is the reason that Stuffed Fables fell off my list.
Mice and Mystics.
No, this is,
Hughes.
no, I don't think you played this, by the way.
What is
This is probably the only Egyptian dungeon crawl out there,
Really?
and because I've been playing it with a family,
Arcades?
yes.
Yes, Arceus.
And it's-
oh my
Sorry, I don't know how to
gosh.
pronounce it. Arcades.
No,
This
I wasn't
one-
gonna I was not slapping your
This
hand.
is a
Also,
story.
Because I'm keeping them on my
Yeah,
lap.
that's right.
It's a
Yeah,
very
with your hand.
story-driven game. It's in ancient Egypt, which I love the theme for this. It's hard to find a theme that kind of reaches into this, but it is a pretty simple game. It comes
It
down
is
to push your luck.
really
It's got
simple.
the really gorgeous minis. I don't know if we have shots of minis here at all or not, but the minis are great, and
You're hoping they're magically
I'm
red?
hoping I sent them in,
cardboard.
but maybe not. But
You chose the
I
pictures,
did.
right?
You chose the picture.
I did. We
Yeah.
went the- Anyway, the minis are great on this one, but
He was hoping Z did it for him.
the boxes are
He did this, right?
the boxes are put together, and you just jump from room to room. This one really grabs me as far as like it's the simplicity of it.
It is,
You know, and there's a push your luck element where you can ignore the monsters in the room to your detriment when you start rolling the die, and different bad things happen. And it's quick, and it's very rules light. So this one I like as far as a family dungeon crawl.
It's really approachable too, right?
It
'Cause, I
is.
mean, it's like not only in the rule sets, but also there's only 8 scenarios, 9
Right.
scenarios for the whole campaign.
Yeah.
It's so approachable with that.
Yeah, so this one I do like it because also this theme is more difficult to find in dungeon crawls, like a good dungeon crawl
my
in
word,
ancient
yes.
Egypt, and it should be
Ancient
there.
Egypt's a little bit supernatural too.
Yeah, yeah. This
Like,
I guess it has a
it's really
steampunk
neat.
kind of lean
Steampunky,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I wish there was more ancient Egypt style of dungeon crawls.
I wanted to play this. The length of time it took them to get it out was one of the negative factors, but also the fact that it was a campaign that's slightly legacy. It doesn't have to be, but it's slightly.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you
The
guys
stickers.
played it. I just haven't got to it, and I don't even know if I will because I'd have to find like a new copy of it, right?
No, because we didn't.
I got a new
destroy it.
copy.
You did
You
destroy
got
it?
a copy?
I did get a copy.
What about that copy that I have at my house for you?
I just went and bought a copy.
You're the worst friend.
I'm not disagreeing with that. That's great. What's wrong with
That's
you?
your borderline. All
right, what's your number 8?
My number 8.
No borderline.
What? No.
Thank you,
Oh.
Ajax, for the super chat.
Heyo,
Yes.
Thank you. My number 8 is Lobotomy 2.
Wait to let us guess.
My
Where's the
number
build-up?
2.
Think about it in your head.
Why? Why do I need to build up? This is what it is. I know what it
Okay.
is. I'm sharing information.
There's another one I have not
Lobotomy
played.
2.
I've
It's
neither.
so good. Let me tell you about it, Tom.
I know the theme is what stopped me from playing
The
this.
theme is what pulled me in. It's so good.
Do you know about the theme of this game?
No, I assume
Tell
it's
them how the
Let me
theme
tell you about the
works.
theme of this game.
is it a doctor or something?
What?
Like a doctor, brain doctor or something?
No. So, like, you're in an insane asylum. It's pretty much Shutter Island. You're in an insane asylum, and you're trying to break out because the orderlies and everyone are going crazy. Like, the orderlies have these tentacle arms, and they're bad, and they're attacking you, and they're trying to kill you. And there's these hellhounds too that come around and like try to
Heckhounds,
snip.
but go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, my bad.
All right, go ahead.
Beep hounds, and they're coming in there, and they're trying to take over, and you're trying to break out because everyone's against you, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe not.
But-
Or maybe not. No.
Oh no!
Maybe not. Maybe you are just like crazy and imagining this, but also maybe not. I don't know. So you're going around, you're like collecting medicine in order to like mitigate your dice rolls, and you are trying to break out, going a little bit crazy. But when you go crazy, you get more powerful.
That's right. You're
Because you
killing
get stronger.
innocent nurses and orderlies.
Who have tentacle arms
In
and
your mind,
heckhounds.
they're
So you're the bad guy in this.
No.
Not in your head.
You're on your own team.
Wow!
You're on team. I want out of this asylum. It's
Wow.
so good.
Really?
I love it. And it's a really neat evolving story as you're in the asylum. It's also like super bloody and might not be for everybody. I get that. This is a theme that I am not. I think they handle it very well. The mental
Apparently.
illness and it's very well handled. But I understand it's not for everybody. It also is pretty bloody. Like as you see the asylum and there's like blood streaks across it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It's so cool. And then you go outside the asylum and there's like things coming out of the trees and a little bit of supernatural. Are you imagining
That's all in
it?
your head.
Oh yeah. No, you don't know that.
But I
You
know
don't
it.
know.
I know it.
And so,
Okay.
so lobotomy 2, I really love that balance of you're going a little bit crazier, and when do you cash in that crazy and like take a couple pills to calm down, versus when you let yourself go crazy to get like these super powerful turns and meet these objectives, because you got to balance your crazy. Sometimes you got to hide it. Sometimes you got to let it show.
All joking aside, sometimes people say, Tom, is there a theme that you don't want to play?
Is this
I've
it?
actually not played this one because of the theme.
Really?
That just bugs me. I don't know why.
The crazy people?
The fact that it's
Not real.
I guess if you could just say it actually, I wish they had just not said that. I wish they had just been like, you're fighting in your mind or whatever. All right.
But no, why would you fight in your mind if you can fight in real? I don't understand.
Wow.
Make no sense. No,
Okay.
that would break the theme. This is fantastic. Number 8, lobotomy 2, manhunt, because you're hunting the man.
Let's get
who's bad.
much more lighter and get more modern. Well, no, this is modern actually.
Give us some hints.
This involves this is a theme unlike any other on my list. Okay, it is technically superhero
But you said technically.
because when I say who's your favorite superhero, you would not name these 4 people.
Are they
Green
real
If I
Lantern.
said name 4 painters from the Renaissance era,
Oh, really?
Teenage Mutant
I didn't
Ninja Turtles.
think of this one.
Change is constant.
Oh, another Catch-a-Palooza. I want to play this so bad.
This is a one versus many.
How did I forget this one?
And they actually made a sequel to this of sorts, the Batman Animated Adventures, which then they bombed on the Kickstarter, and I never got a copy of it. Thanks a lot. But I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anyway,
Yeah.
and I think they're fun. And this one's fun because you roll 3 dice that give you actions, and then you set them in front of you, and it's important the order because the die on this side you also use. The die on this side
yes,
you also
that's
use.
the mechanic was
Oh,
great in
I like
this.
that.
It's teamwork, and I really like that. And then the bad guy has his own little thing where he has a decks of cards and he activates this stuff, and it's just fun. I just enjoy the game overall. I like the theme as you're fighting Shredder and the I just forgot the name of the Rhino and
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Bebop and
Yeah.
Rocksteady. Thank you.
Wow, good pull.
I know
Bebop and
my
Rocksteady
turtles.
They're like
and my
two of-
Renaissance painters.
Bebop and Rocksteady are 2 of my favorite
They're so
henchmen.
good.
Oh, I
They're
agree.
so
I
They're
agree.
good.
so good.
Just the names are great.
Yeah,
This-
I love this. You know what has kept me from playing this game? I don't think I'm a good enough painter to paint the minis. I've almost bought it like 3 or 4 times. Then I'm like, but what if I mess the minis up?
I got you. I'll paint them for you.
No,
But,
gray plastic is fine.
This,
Well, he's got a thumbs down because it's technically not a dungeon. It's a dungeon. Have you been to New York? It's a
It's a
dungeon.
dungeon.
ooh, Escape the Dark
Yeah.
Castle. This
Yeah.
would have been on my top 10 list, by the way, if I would have remembered it. I don't know how I forgot this game.
You know how to play it?
Yes, I love
Tom,
the
will you
whole
teach me?
splitting. Oh!
Yes, I will. I don't want you to have a bad first experience. That's my number 8.
No respect. Okay, so my number 7, again, older game, but it's this one you can play with kids or adults. And this one is, you probably played it too much. But this uses,
Ready, set, bet.
it had me actually before Marvel United.
Ready, set, bet, the dungeon.
You play it.
I would.
Before Marvel United, this is the first chibi game. I was like, okay, I'll give them a try. And this is Arcadia Quest. Arcadia Quest is one that I do enjoy. I started playing this with adults a while back, and then now my daughter's kind of gotten into it because the whole thing is, this one, it's always like, all right, so it's about the quest, but beating each other is kind of the sport that goes in between the quest. So it's like you're trying to finish it, but you're also trying to go at each other. And death isn't terrible in this. So you don't feel bad when you actually can kind of,
Kind of like being in an asylum.
not anything like being in an asylum, but you can kill your child's character and not feel terrible about it. I'm really trying to figure out how to phrase that, but it's just, and I have not played all the expansions. There are
Well, you're doing a
pets.
bad job. Clarify.
Okay, to win, but this game is it's a lot of fun, and it's got. I do wish they were painted, by the way, but the chibis on there, it kind of makes sense in this style game.
I
I've
thought
not-
about this for a long time, and
don't
I
like
took it off the list.
To put Starcadia Quest on,
No, I think they're not dungeon crawls because you
Really?
said you fight people on your way to kill the monsters. No, you kill monsters as a side thing to get Eric Lang says they're walking bags of loot. You're
That
killing
is
the
true.
monsters so that I may kill you. And
That's true.
And Starcade Quest even more, so it's more King of the
I
Hill
haven't
than
played that
anything
one.
else. But don't get me wrong, I love these games, and if you look at my top 10 dungeon crawlers from last time, Arcadia Quest is on the list. But I was like, it doesn't. There's no goal in mind. It's more of an
There are goals,
arena.
but yeah.
It's more of an arena, and there happens to be monsters in the arena, and we're fighting each other.
I can see that, but I think it's a dungeon crawl, and you should be happy. Every place Escape the Dark Castle. Just to make you happy, but. Yeah.
Hannah says, boss battler is just another bad day at work.
But yeah, so Arcadia Quest.
This is a fantastic game, though.
Have you played it?
I've not. No.
That's cute.
I'm realizing now
We're
that
going
I've
to
never
have
even
like
actually
200
seen it.
Catchapaloozas from this list alone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all Mondays.
No hard feelings, though. Yeah.
You should come in Monday and Friday.
We're on 7. My number 7 is, I'm letting it build up for you.
Well, we're
You
trying
have to
to
say
guess.
something.
Massive Darkness 2.
I think.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
we didn't describe what build-up
better?
is.
It's very big and
We
not
need Sam
well
Hewitt
lit.
to come here and teach.
How to do build-up.
Well, I don't understand the reason to build up. Nah. All right.
one.
I just want to talk about the game. It's Massive Darkness 2. I think that this one sets itself apart from other dungeon crawlers with the kind of a little bit of asymmetry in the players that you have, because every game, it kind of reminds me of that game that only me and Mike like.
Zuvadas.
Where you are, oh my gosh, okay, never mind, doesn't matter because I can't remember what it reminds me of, but you are playing these individual like mini games almost. So the one that I like, for example, I want to get hurt because
that
as I
merchant
get hurt,
game?
yeah, Merchant's Cove, thank you, yeah. So where you each play your own little
I always
mini
compare
game,
these two, but yes.
no, your own little mini game for this big shared goal out in the middle. Now that one's of course competitive. This one's is cooperative here. So for example, the guy that I like to play, you get hurt and you get rage and you get mad and then you get to use that rage for these big powerful moments. You know, and then
Have you played this?
No, and this makes me sad every time it shows up on a list.
Oh, it's
because
so
I
good.
know this is. I played the first one, did not back the second one because I was not crazy about the first one. And then Tom's like, "It's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life," and I'm like, "Of course it is." It hurts.
I really love just that you have this little bit of asymmetry, but it's not enough asymmetry to where that's the focus of the game. You know, you learn how to play your character really quickly. Your nose isn't in the book trying to completely figure out how your character overhauls the play, because the main goal is still this shared dungeon that you're trying to go through. The bosses, there's so many bosses, so much material in this, and they all feel very different as you I won't say battle them, but as you, because that makes it a boss battler, but as you're going out and trying to defeat and also meet these goals, it's about taking out the bad guys, but it's also about meeting your objectives. And to me, that's why it fits so well in this, and the asymmetry just makes it sing. It's just the right amount of asymmetry that I want for a
Have you
dungeon
played
crawler.
with the Care Bear expansion stuff?
I haven't. I don't really care for the look of that
You
one.
get to kill Care Bears. All right.
I thought you had to play. Oh, really?
Yes, you don't play them. They're bad guys.
Yes, I agree.
All right, this is.
Mike says he's going to bring a painted copy for you.
Bring it, because I would play. My wife played it on the cruise. Because she made a library copy. I'm like, "Is it good?" She goes, "Yeah, it's really good." I'm like, "Come on!"
They just asked me there, mainframe, why is Massive Darkness 2 better than Zombicide? I think it is just in Zombicide, it feels very samey a little bit with the aliens that you're fighting. I feel like Massive Darkness 2 has a lot of unique bosses that you go up against, as well as it's very goal-oriented. And again, just that asymmetry, just the perfect amount of asymmetry to where you feel different and you have to facilitate that cooperation, but you're also doing your own little mini game that no one else is doing. And I like that.
All right, my number 7 is a dungeon crawler, and I'll fight you if you say otherwise. Because it is a dungeon crawler. You don't fight a ton of monsters. You're mostly running from them or avoiding them. This is Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition.
Okay.
This is, if you don't think it's a dungeon crawler, I'm going to just assume you haven't played it.
Right.
Because you are like walking through rooms like, open a door and there's a monster. That's what dungeon crawlers are. There's loot. And there's puzzles. I really like this game. So thematic. And the app really helps. The music and everything, and I'm just sitting there like nerve-wracked, like, can we be done now? The only thing this doesn't have is you never feel super powerful in this game, like ever.
Oh yeah, no,
You're more like, a monster.
Yeah.
Maybe all of us together
Right.
can take out this small
right.
cultist.
This is a slow death
It's
game.
treading water.
Yeah.
So good though. So good.
Yeah.
Is this one of those? Did this replace?
This
the
replaced
other?
Mansion of Madness, the first
Okay,
edition. Yes.
alright.
Thank you, Stone Temple Glyph.
Heyo.
The main difference for the Super Chat in London, the main difference between this and the first is the app replaced the human. And I know people are against AI, but in this case,
yeah,
is so
I
much
agree.
better.
Needed.
Because in Mansions of Madness, the first edition, you had to carefully set the whole thing up. And if you made one mistake, you ruined the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, interesting.
So Mansions of Madness, I guess I should. I say second edition. I don't think the first edition's available at all. That doesn't say second edition on the box or anything.
It does.
Does.
Right below Madness.
Oh,
Yep.
Let me zoom in.
okay. So I guess it's.
Zoom in.
Oh, it's really small. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think that they faded out the first one. But just in case you go to a flea market and you see the first one, you don't want it.
Avoid it. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless that's one expansion, because you definitely want it because the
Definitely want it.
contact.
It's
No,
worth
you
a lot of money.
absolutely you like get it. If you see a first edition, get it because it's compatible with this one and it's super out of print and super valuable and the only way you can get everything. Yes,
I'd still
Tom.
bypass it.
it is like
You should be
hundreds
buying games.
of dollars.
You should be speculating on games.
Oh,
There's
seventh
no
Shouldn't
guess.
speculation.
Already
It
for
is
300
literally-
bucks.
Just give it to us. Okay.
This
Okay,
does
well,
feel like
that's an
seventh
option.
guess
We'll
the
take it.
game. I like that.
There you go. If
idea.
you see it, get
Oh,
it for me, not Tom. He doesn't care.
Have you played Seventh Guess the board game?
No, is it terrible?
It is a 1 out of 10.
Really?
It is that bad.
Is it bad? I want to play it more now.
Well, you do like Escape the Dark Castle, so yes.
All right.
Okay, so my number 6 is we are at number 6, right? Yes. Number 6 is the one I'm probably going to get flack about.
The one.
Not from you, but probably from you, and not even because you've played it, because you just hate the idea of this game, because you have to assemble the minis. But I have played everyone else's copy of this. I've got copies of this at home. I just haven't taken the time to build it. But every time I play it, I enjoy this as a dungeon crawl. And this is Shadows of Brimstone.
I'm not going to give you garbage. I just didn't want to build the minis. That's
It's
if you like the
this
game,
one-
that's fantastic.
The game is really, really good. The thing is, this is a very similar game.
I like that.
Yeah, it looks good. This
What?
is Sean's copy. This is
It's Weird
he's
West.
Fully, yeah, it's Weird West is a good way to say
Oh,
it.
interesting, but looks more weird. I'm
But
all
the
about
great thing
weird
is
West.
this is the only one that you can have, like, you can have a cowboy, a vampire, a nun, and a piano player. They all go into there,
Yes.
and they battle because you go through these portals or stargates. So you can pretty much go to every expansion and pull people from Vikings and all that. So everything that Zombicide has in all the different iterations, this has, that can be brought into one. You know? So
I've heard nothing but good about this. I
It's-
just refuse to build the stuff and play.
we will play it soon, once I finally build these.
Catch a palooza.
But,
on a Monday.
Oh, we're flicking. There we're back.
Woo.
There.
What'd you do? That was spooky.
I didn't know
Ta-da!
you knew this game.
What's that?
I didn't know you knew this game
I
because
do.
this is on my list of ones I want to play.
I
that
would
you know what I mean?
I need to
Like,
build my copy.
It's up there with like Swords and Sorcery, where it's like those are the games like I want to play because I think I would really, really like them.
This one I feel
But-
like it's probably, I haven't played Sword and Sorcery. This one feels simpler. This one has a nice leveling up mechanic, and you can also, a very good campaign element to it. So you do build your characters as you go through, and the way you can deviate to different genres and expansions is really good with this. So I do like this as a great dungeon crawl. The box is massive. You know, and it's a money pit because this is all you get, but it's
They made so much from this that they're like, you know what? We're decided to never publish another game.
that's the thing.
That's all they do now is Shadows of Brimstone.
Yeah, no more Fortune of Glory and all that. But it seems like it's just this.
You go to their booth and you might find one game, then Shadows of Brimstone, and then 800 expansions.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Why don't
Yeah.
they come built? I mean, once they're built, they still fit in the box.
Nah, I take the insert out, so
Wow.
I would argue that they
interesting.
do it slightly for cost and slightly because of snobbery. Because at this point, they used to be like, well, it's more expensive to make pre-built miniatures.
Yeah.
And like, everyone in all board gaming is
Yeah.
doing it. So stop saying that.
I've never built a mini. I want
yeah,
try
they
that.
say they're better quality
like
when you
it.
build
That's
them. But I don't-
baloney. That is straight up baloney. Have you seen Awakened Realms miniatures?
I
You've seen my
know.
miniatures. They're
I know.
amazing.
I know. That is the one hold back
Interesting.
for a lot of people. It's the assembly on this.
I want to try that. I've never built a mini. All right. My number 6. All right, here we go. Build up. You ready?
Oh, here we go.
You don't have to say the word build up.
Oh, I don't? I just go into it?
No, don't go into it. Build it up.
Okay, I have a number 6.
It's of the devil.
Okay.
Jaws the lion. Is that good? I agree.
Is it Gloomhaven?
Wow, you're so smart. Me and Camilla can never play
I think
this.
it's either that or David.
Yeah, no, we're not. No, ever. I will not play with you.
Because we both want to be the hatchet.
No, I will be the hatchet.
Yeah,
I don't want
know
to
how
be
to play the game
hatchet.
if I'm not the hatchet.
I will be the hatchet. I need my favorite.
You can't have 2 hatchets, guys.
No, you do get 2 hatchets. You get one for each hand.
Ooh, could you play 2
We play
hatchets?
2 copies of the game and both play the hatchet.
We both be the
Interesting.
hatchet.
Twin
Can we
hatchets.
play together? Oh
They're
man.
gonna have the exact same time on the cards.
That's true.
Well, actually, you can bring in other people. I would bring in one of the Frosthaven. There's some really cool Frosthaven
Oh,
people.
interesting. Yeah. So I like this one. First of all, I just love the simplicity of this game. For a dungeon crawler, to be able to open a map and boom, everything you need to know. The special scenario rules are printed right there. The dungeon layout is right there that you're
Why
going through.
is this not standard in the industry?
My gosh, show
Thank
me
you.
Right, another dungeon crawler
Thank
that I
you.
can go from box to playing in 6 minutes. They're just so hard to find. I love the ease of this. This is the approachable Gloomhaven that I want. Gloomhaven is a lifestyle game. It's the one that you get together with your dedicated group for like 5 years and play every other Friday night or whatever. This gives you that experience without having to be a lifestyle game. It teaches you how to play the game, so it has a really easy entry point, and I love the card play in it. I love that each card, which is going to dictate your actions that you do, you have a top action and a bottom action. You get 2 card plays. One you have to use the top, the other you have to use the bottom of it, and so it has this puzzly nature to it as you're talking and cooperating, trying to figure out your actions and do everything you need to do, but also schedule your rest, because that's the only way you get your cards back. So when do you take that breather? It's just a really great puzzle with such an easy into gameplay experience. I mean, you take the box out, open the book, you're 90% ready to go. I love that. It's an approachable campaign. Again, I think it's 25, maybe 30 scenarios, something like that. But again, it's an approachable campaign, gives you that full big experience in something that doesn't have to be a lifestyle. So yeah, Gloomhaven, Jaws the Lion, my number 6.
It's interesting. I played this a couple times, of course, Gloomhaven a lot more. This whole system fell off my list only because I'm like, it's not going to ever hit the table again. I can't imagine why I don't play it on Steam and I actually play it out there. I mean, this is
interesting.
almost gone the same way as Seventh Continent for me. You know, 'cause I'm
Interesting.
like, but I haven't opened Frosthaven, so I don't know if that's going to change my mind. But this one is one. This one is the one I would go back to if I
Right.
did go back to one.
Yeah, I don't play on Steam or anything like that.
I just wish more company. I'm still stuck on the book thing.
You should be.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't make any sense,
I
does
know.
it?
Well, that's why I'm really excited, because the Title Blades 2 comes out
And has a
here
book?
in it's going to be delivered in 2-3 months or something like that. And same thing, it has this book
I love
system.
that.
And it has that Title Blades world, from the Cuddletons. Sorry,
Mr. Cuddleton.
Mr. Cuddleton.
Mr. Cuddington.
Cuddington.
Say Cuddleton.
All right, my number 6 is a big, grandiose, sprawling dungeon crawl, and the defining characteristic is you open the door, and the door gives you all the information of what's in the room, and that's Chronicles of Drunagar. I don't believe either of you have played
I
this
have
one.
not.
Oh,
So
I like that.
Oh,
this
I've
one-
always loved that cover.
that cover,
Oh,
though.
it looks nice.
So there's a couple things about Chronicles of Drunagar that are really fun. One of them is the board itself there. So you have a pool of cubes, and you will use these cubes to activate different actions. So you can see different colored cubes activate different actions. So that's fantastic. And then you can get cards that give you more things to put your cubes on. So the building of your character's immense.
Wow.
Really cool. Then I wasn't kidding. There's like a little big door that is like a pamphlet. When you pull it out, you open it up and it shows you what's in the next room. It shows
Oh, that's
you
cool.
the monsters and stuff that will be in that room. So it might say put door 37. There might be 2 door 37, so you put one there. And even if you played it a lot, you're not sure what will be in the next room.
That's interesting. Oh, that's cool. So it's kind of like Arceus in that
But you're
regard.
still rolling dice and chucking and killing each other. And I like all that. It also has this whole 3D thing where the trays themselves go up and stuff. That's not as neat as it could be. I would be okay if it was just flat, although it does make setting stuff up a little easier, right? Trays are just easier to set up than tiles. I like it.
That
Very
was
true.
really
another thing
good.
I also like about it is every once in a while, you get to a page in the book where you flip the page and it shows you like a table with a bunch of items on with numbers, and then you're like, I will touch this one. And then you turn that number and read what it says, what it's going to happen.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's a little bit of that in the game.
Oh.
I would like that more if there was at least some notice. Like I get table, there's a green potion and a blue potion. I'm like, we'll drink the blue potion. It's like, you're poisoned. I'm like, well, there was nothing in the dungeon that gave us any indication
Yeah, I don't
to
like
not
that.
drink the blue potion.
So you said this is campaign?
It is campaign. It is
But you
campaign.
can do
but
one-offs?
Well, you could play the first couple levels, and that would feel like a one-off.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a campaign. But I like it a lot. Chronicles of Drunica.
That artwork is great.
All right, we're in the top 5 now. These better be amazing.
Oh, these are, let me look through.
They are.
Oh, yeah. You will not disagree with any of, no, with 4 of mine.
I want to say, okay, I want to say, looking back, I think 3 of these top 5 are in my top 10 of all time.
Really?
There you go.
Coming up? How about you?
No, my one from
top
last
10?
year, not the one coming up.
Yes.
Oh, ready, set, bet. All right.
Or no.
All right, so mine is I think the only space one in my list here, but it is not Zombicide Invader. This is another one that surprised me how much I like this, but this is Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, I want to play
Deep
that
Rock
too bad.
Galactic is, I played it a couple times, and I played it a couple times on the cruise. I played it a couple times at East.
Oh, we're going to catch a clue as it is. We don't need him for this.
Oh, no,
yeah?
you need me for this. No, one
Chris
else
knows how to play it.
doesn't matter.
Roy knows how to play it too.
Yeah, Roy knows
I
how to
watched
play
you
it.
guys
I
play it
taught
during the
both of them.
spectacular at like 1 a.m.
So this, yeah, well, we did.
I was a little tired.
That game was very loopy, though. I
Yes.
do remember seeing bits of that. And
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you weren't
fed
supposed to
kids
watch.
sawdust.
My bad.
I know.
Oops.
All right, so, but this is great because it's dungeon crawler,
see everything.
typical dungeon crawler. But the great thing is, you can dig anywhere you want to, and you make your own path. So there's something about being able to go around and come in a different door in the back of a room. And I have not played this game, so I know nothing about the
What?
IP. And sorry, the video game that's based on. So I know that
okay.
it's apparently does it really well because I did play on the cruise with somebody's like, oh yeah, this red does this. I'm like, okay, nice. But the way you can drop weapons and it's really fun. This one again is one that had no interest in the IP. This one surprised me. And the minis look great. I mean, it's Dig Dug. You get to dig around.
this looks cool.
It's really fun.
This looks neat.
So
Unique,
yeah, this is
too.
up there. What's that?
As it's-
Very
it's
unique.
you
Yeah,
know,
it has a
in this-
nice
in the
little
genre.
twist on the genre.
That's cool. Yep. All right. My number 5 is different.
Okay, hold on. All right, so now let's guess. Lobotomy 1. Okay.
I think Lobotomy, the first one, has been universally panned.
There was a
Yeah.
first one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's why it's called Lobotomy 2.
What?
Because it goes 1 and then 2.
She's on fire
Came
today.
out.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
My number 5, it's a one versus many game, and I think that's really unique in the dungeon crawler
One versus
genre.
many?
One versus many.
You know D&D doesn't count, right?
This
D&D
is-
with Tom. That's such a
Hang
kiss
on,
up.
I'm looking through my
This
list here.
is.
Wait,
You're going to
wait.
tell me it's not a dungeon crawler if it's
You
not
haven't
on there.
played that one.
And I'm going to tell you you're wrong. It is.
It's
the others. I'm saving you time.
I don't consider the others a dungeon crawler.
I
That's
do
correct.
consider it a dungeon crawl because it's just somebody else is playing the dungeon part. You know, the one is kind of the dungeon.
But
if
you're not
you will.
really. It's more of a scenario. Okay, fine.
It is scenario based, but so is like Massive Darkness, where you have objectives that you're trying to do. It's not just kill the big baddie; it's complete an objective.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm right. You can say it. It's
I'm
okay.
thinking.
You can publicly say it.
No, I'll never do that. Are you kidding?
Yeah. I do enjoy
Sit
this.
All
with
right.
pride here. Thank you.
So the others is the dungeon crawler. It just again the one is playing as the dungeon, and you're playing as one of the 7 deadly sins. And again, it has that same kind of thing I was talking about with lobotomy, where you have to in lobotomy you're kind of balancing your craziness to get power. In this, you're taking on corruption. So the one is playing as this deadly sin, and you might take on corruption, and depending on what that sin you're playing against, that corruption will mean different things. So you really have to balance your corruption without going too corrupt. Because you go too corrupt, you die. And so if you're playing the many, you're all these characters, and you win if you complete your objective before all of your heroes, if you will, become corrupted. And so you have like 8 characters. So when one of them becomes too corrupted, you're like, oh, well, they're gone. Get another one. And you just keep going through them.
Yeah.
And so you have this time. I think it's really neat because the 7 sins feel so thematic. And it's when you're playing it, it's hard to tell who is more powerful. I feel like the first time you play it, it feels like the 1 is way too powerful.
I will always feel that way.
Really?
I've always got my butt kicked by the 1.
I have to.
Okay,
have
but-
you ever been the one? I've never have.
Okay, no, I have, yeah.
Oh, wait, once
I don't,
maybe.
I feel like it's because they look at it as going in and you have to take out all the bads, and no, you have to really focus on that objective and getting through
Right.
and understand how you progress the game. But you can't just let the 1 take over either, the deadly sin. And so it's a really good balance and kind of puzzle of that. And I really like it for that. I love that it is not you against the game in this, but there's an actual person there. And I love the action selection, or I'm sorry, the action turn sequence of this, that the 1 gets to decide when to go. Because you guys each get 2 turns each, but they only get 4. And so it's like, oh, wait, I'm not going to go yet. And so it's this real tension of when are they going to take their big turn and really like hose you. So I really like this game a lot. And I think it's fun playing a dungeon crawler where the dungeon is a person who's thinking and planning against you and also corrupting you. It's really good. So my number 5.
Happens every other Thursday here at the...
All right, finally, after 6 picks, we have a crossover
With me.
with you.
Catacombs?
Catacombs.
Yes.
Catacombs
Okay. All
is
right.
that good.
Okay, good.
Catacombs, I think it's fantastic. I like how it's dexterity, right? And at the end of the day, if you're terrible at dexterity, you may have a hard time with this game.
Right.
But it's so
So fun.
thematic. Like the wizard has a fire spell, which is a big range thing that he can shoot,
cool.
and he has. There's just all like some people can move before they shoot because they're the ninja or whatever, and the monsters have different special abilities. Some of them are easy. Then you get to the boss. You get to a store in the middle of it, like, and you buy equipment. It's just so much fun.
It really is. I think
like
fun is the best way to say this. It is just fun.
Really?
Yes.
It seems like the crossover I've always wanted but never thought was possible. Dexterity and dungeon crawl. And I don't know why, I just haven't put it together and played it.
Again, it shouldn't be as good as it is.
No, that's the big thing.
It's not the only dexterity on my list. It's the only one that made my top 10. The where is it? Way down farther. The dungeon, the one with dice where you're hitting a dungeon fighter.
Dungeon fighter. Oh,
yeah.
you
That's
throw
my
the
number
quarters?
23.
Whoa, is that one
The quarter
where
one,
Throw
right?
on a target, and you have to put your arm
Is
around
that
your
that one?
neck. Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
The NSFW moves from Roy.
Okay.
was-
Well, I can't
That
help
one?
the way Roy plays it, but
I was scarred.
that one is silly. This one is also silly, but feels like an actual. Again, like I said, the stuff just feels realistic. I really like that aspect. I like that the archer has a bunch of little arrows and you can just shoot them. That makes sense from a range point of view.
Yes.
And yeah, it's fantastic.
And line of sight is up to you.
Right.
mean, you can't say, "Oh no, I can make it," because then you're like, "Well, prove it." You know?
Right, that's the thing. Like, can I reach you? I don't know. Can you?
There's no argument. It's like just try. Yeah, I really like that.
All right, that's my number 5, and they only get better.
That's a good one. Okay, so my number 4 is a crossover, and
me?
it is
Not me.
with Camilla.
he's up
I am
there.
thinking it might be with you later. I do not know though.
Let me think. Jaws the Lion?
No.
What? Oh, that's
No.
right. Yeah, you said no. Massive Darkness 2?
No.
No.
Horrible thing
Lobotomy
to
2?
say. Okay, you know what? It's Zombie Side.
That was my
I
next
said
guess!
when she said zombie side, I said that was my number 27 or something like
I
that.
thought you were kidding. All right. So I put Black Plague on here.
would I kid about it?
Oh, I
17.
mean, look at the setup we have with this. We actually put up the walls
Oh
on
my
it.
gosh, you did.
And it
Wait, is
takes,
that rice paper on the wall?
yes, it takes time to
What?
put up those walls, and that's why Black Plague is probably not the best as far as I think. Undead
Is
or
this my
Alive.
Keller's copy?
Huh?
Is this your copy?
Yes.
You put effort in?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, did you? You did
Yes.
that? You
yes.
glued the rice
Those are
paper?
3D printed, and I printed the walls, and they slid down in there. And it's really. The problem is though, when you get a room full of zombies, you can't fit them all in little. It looks better in the picture than it does in reality.
But then you get to go in there, and they're all gone.
That's okay.
So good.
Not necessarily in Black Plague.
No, I was thinking there's no, but
Fine.
so Undead or Alive, I think mechanically
That was very realistic.
gross.
Like that? Is it better?
What are you stepping in?
Not stabby, not slashy.
Okay. Best one mechanically, I think, is Marvel Zombies and the Marvel ones. Then I think it's Undead or Alive. But I like the theme of Black Plague and Green Horde. I put them both in the same thing. But this is just such a fun, silly game. And
It is.
I like Black Plague. The only thing I don't like is that whole stupid, we got to find the dragon grease and find this to be able to take out the big one.
Yeah, I know. It's
Dragon
got
grease.
flaws, but then you can house rule a lot of those things away. Like we've house ruled most things to make it like Undead or Alive.
I say that's the thing about these is you say house rules, but really it is just kind of backward
It's
applying
evolution.
the rules. You know, it's like this is my favorite theme. I'm going to take that rule from Marvel Zombies, which I recognize is superior in gameplay, but I prefer this theme. I'm going to backwards make it compatible.
Yeah, and that's one thing Simon does do is they do listen, and they were like, that's a good idea. They put it in their next book. So I like this. And again, Marvel Zombies, I think, does it better. I just love the way they do with their, I think, bystanders or whatever. But I love the whole system this is under. It's probably like quintessential for me, the dungeon crawl. And even the 2.0, the modern day. Some people just like that modern day theme. You know, so the 2.0 I think is a great one too. Zombie
Good
7.
call. Good call.
27. What's the matter with you?
My number 4 is a crossover.
Oh, okay, much
And
better.
if you say it's not a dungeon crawler, I will agree that you haven't played it.
So it's Mansions of Madness 2.
Did I do good though, right?
That was better. That was better. You're getting there.
No,
I mean, if you just repeat what I said, it's fine. But
I did great. I'm standing by it. Mansion Madness.
Plagiarism. I will be reporting you to the dean. Oh, wait, that's me.
No, I love Mansions of Madness for everything you said. I think it is one of the most thematic Cthulhu games where you feel in it. You feel the tension of going up against Cthulhu and that like slow death, that like overwhelming, you don't want to give up and you're just crawling through and trying to make it work and you know it's not going to be possible, but you just don't give up, you know? And I love this game. I think that the app elevates it where it gives you that little bit of background creepiness and just enough of little blurb stories to keep that theme involved to where you don't get caught up in the mechanisms, because this is very like token heavy and exception kind of heavy is what I find. But I feel like the app takes that out of it a little bit. I have heard people say before, like, well, why isn't it just an app game? It could just be an app game. And I disagree. I think you need that board, and it's very well organized in what is run by the app and what's not, to where it is still a board game. But the app is absolutely necessary and just really pushes that theme forward and gives you that tense feeling that I want from the Cthulhu game. So, Mansions of Madness, the different scenarios feel different, they play differently, and I just appreciate the variability. But at the same
There's
time,
one that's like a detective
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, it's really fun.
but at the same time, I don't mind replaying the scenarios. There are some scenarios that I've
agree.
played 5-6 times, and I'm still like, all right, one more time. This is going to be it. I'm going to do it this time. And I'm so excited to get in there and try. So, yeah, Mansions of Madness is fantastic, and it's my number 4.
My number 4 is the newest one to my list. I had zero expectations going in when playing this, because the game it's based on is not a game that I enjoy. It's a drinking game, basically. And this is Tales from Red Dragon Inn. That is how good this is, people.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'm not a big
Drink.
Red Dragon Inn fan, but they brought the silliness of that game. So there's a lot of things I like. First of all, I like the fact that you unfold the map and everything's there. The terrain, the monsters on the side. I love the system on how the characters work, because you have these like attacks and things that you can use. The attacks are done by pulling chips from a bag, which is fun. That's a good way to activate. That's that boss battler we played, adventure game.
Yeah.
I like that style. I like that you have these cards, and you can use a card, and then you put tokens on it. Like it has a cooldown. Like you put 3
okay.
cooldown tokens so you can use again, but one of your actions could also be take a token off one of your cooldown cards so you can get to use them faster. And I just find that sort of thing to be fun, to use these different actions. It's great. It has silly humor. It is a
Is the story good in this too? I mean,
It's just it is, but it's like silly story. Like they're sitting in the inn recounting one of their adventures. I don't know if they're lying a lot in this.
it's like a big fish type thing.
Yeah, but it's entertaining, and you're running around, and you level up like between almost every mission, which is nice.
Oh, that's
Right.
nice. That feels good.
Is this Legacy like one-time playthrough or is it campaign?
It's campaign.
Depends on how much you drink.
But
No, there's no legacy. I mean, it's campaign. I
Okay,
think it's like
so you don't
20,
destroy stuff. Okay.
20 missions or something like that.
huh?
Yeah, I really like it, and I think this is one you could play with your kids. I mean, it'll be like, so what's a drink you like? They love root beer,
Okay.
whatever it is. But other than that, it's cartoony, it's fun, and one of the characters comes with Pookie, and basically they're like an insane rabbit, and you
Oh, I know
roll a
Pookie.
die, and that's what the rabbit does. He'll like run to the nearest enemy and bite him. You're like, well, that was good.
He's like Elfin.
Yeah.
Yes, he really is.
Very-
Am I plagiarizing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
So that's my number 4, Tales of the Red Dragon Inn.
Okay, so my number 3 is, I know it's not going to be on your list because you pretty much said it's not going to be on your list. And it's Clank Catacombs. For me, any of the Clanks on here, and I know I consider these a dungeon crawl. This one in particular is literally a dungeon crawl. I don't know, I mean,
It's just that I was gonna say you don't fight monsters. You do. You're discarding cards.
you get prisoners.
Cards you fight that are monsters in the row.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. If someone walked up to you and said, "I'm looking for a good dungeon crawl," and you said Clank Catacombs, and they went and bought it and took it home and played it, I think they would be disappointed. I really do. I think they might be like, "That was a great game, but that was not what I was looking for."
I think they would be disappointed when they open the box. I think they'd be happy after they played it.
I agree. I think they might. It's a great game. It's one of my favorite games. I just don't think it.
It's okay, so even not Catacombs, but I think Catacombs is the most dungeon crawl of them all. I think all the Clanks kind of lean into that because you're crawling down through the dungeon. In it
It's
literal
on my
sense of the
honorable
word.
mention, so
Is it really?
Well, it looks like
yeah.
Chad has your back.
Thank you, chat.
There you go.
So, but no, this game, and like you said, you do like the game itself.
I love this game.
This is everything that I wanted Clank to be at the beginning, to give you that, because Clank is one of my favorite systems, but the problem was you have those certain paths you hit. Every time you're going to play the map and you're going to go through and do a certain thing. This right here, the randomness, I like the prisoners being added to this. I like a lot of the things, the white cubes have been introduced a while back. All those things just gel in this, and I'd like to see them more build in this system. I think this is a great, great game.
Well, and I agree that it's not classically what a dungeon crawler is, but I think that's what sets it apart.
Yeah.
You know, it's still a dungeon crawler, just a little different. And that's
Right.
what makes it unique and really, I think, makes it sing.
And the push your luck, the bag building. I just love that pulling out, and I love anything that has push your luck, and this has it in spades.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Clank Catacombs.
Yep, it was my honorable mention. My number 3, this is a game that Z is actually, I think, a big push for this. He's kind of the champion of this game, but I have really, really fallen in
then
love
I know
with
what it
this.
is.
What is it?
Yeah.
Was that a good build-up?
No, just I know what it is. This is my number 20. Well, it
What
was
is-
29, but Betrayal pushed it down one.
What is it?
It's now 30. Claustrophobia.
It is, yes. Claustrophobia.
It's the only dungeon crawl Z likes.
Number 1647,
I would've guessed the wrong one.
190 or something, 1642 perhaps. I don't know. I can't read the box from here. But Claustrophobia, I love this game, and I love it. And like just what you were talking, it feels like a classic dungeon crawler,
not
but
played
it's
this.
a little different. Like the others was the one versus many. This is strictly a 2-player game, and one person is
There's a 3-player variant, but yes.
But it's a variant. It's not the game. It's a variant, doesn't count.
Okay.
It's trash.
Okay.
It's too late. So I love that one player is playing as the heroes and they're controlling 6 different heroes, but it's not overwhelming because you're rolling 6 dice and then deciding, or I'm sorry, I think it's 4 dice. No, it is 6 dice, and you're deciding which one is going to take which action that turn. So it's very easy to control all of them at one time. The other one is playing the baddie that they choose, the hellhounds, or there's a couple different ones in there. So I really like that balance of one is playing good and one is playing bad, but you both have these objectives and they're very unique objectives to win. You're playing the baddies, you're trying to kill off the heroes, and the heroes are trying to do something, make it out alive, and they're having to discover these tiles and finding an exit to it, also keeping you at bay, or maybe they're trying to find the center to go through and complete some objective or complete a ritual in there, open a portal, something like that. So I just love that you get that dungeon crawl experience in a 2-player game that's very specifically designed for 2-player and really sings at that player count. And both sides play so differently, but mesh so well, where you always feel, it's very similar to what I was saying with, the Zombicide Invader, where it's like, you're always overwhelmed, and like the other person, oh my gosh, they have it, there's no way, they're way too powerful. But also, I'm really powerful. So you feel really weak when it's not your turn, and really powerful when it is, and I love that just journey that you go through on every play of this game, so.
The reason I don't love this one, and I understand why you and Z, who this is the only game he likes, and I speak for him. I don't love it because I don't like being prisoner. Like, you have no identity, really. And I also don't love that you just fight demon. This is another reason I'm not as big a fan as normal Zombicide, because you keep fighting the same stuff.
Right.
I like games where there's different things, like, oh, we're fighting skeletons. Now we're fighting this. In fact, last night, remember, you were fighting skeleton.
ghost
After a
shows
while,
up.
you're like, a ghost, and you were like, yes! He didn't even care that the ghost was harder. It was just something different. In this game, there's different kinds of demons, right?
There are, and they play differently.
But I just wish there was more variety. That is a
There's
weird
like
hang-up,
8
I guess,
of
but for
them.
me, I know, but they all still look the same.
No.
Well, not in the picture, but like the miniatures and the stuff.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
I've
bring
not
in my
played this.
painted one, and you'll be like,
Well, okay,
oh, I'm
it's not-
wrong. And I'll be like, I know, I told you.
But that cover, it just throws me off. It doesn't even have the title. I don't know why. The
I
cover.
love that.
Really?
The game we just reviewed, Keltay, did the same thing. I love it. It's so striking. I absolutely love it.
All right. Well, my number 3, for a decade or so, was the definitive dungeon crawler and still stands as the gold standard for many people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is Descent 2nd Edition.
Okay.
I still like Descent. I meant
too.
as a board game, Roy. Not D&D. No, but Descent, the 1st edition, and for when this 2nd edition came out, there was almost no other dungeon crawlers out there. And I think this one is fantastic. There's so many different monsters that can show up in this game. The different characters, the leveling up system. They have nice small little dungeons you play through. You go through a little dungeon, then you go home, and on your way back you have an encounter, and then you come back and you fight another dungeon. They immediately made every monster from the 1st edition compatible, which is great.
That's really nice.
Descent, they added lieutenants and huge bosses. If you played through the campaign, it was epic and mega. Your character was hugely powerful by the end. I think it's way better. This is my number 3. Descent 3rd edition is my number 32.
Really? I know you didn't like it. I know it's that
Actually, you
bad.
know what? I didn't even put Descent 1st edition, but I would put that above Descent 3rd edition. I don't care for that one as much. I don't think it's terrible.
Really?
It's better than 15 others, including Escape the Dark Castle. And let me throw another one out there. One Deck Dungeon. That also sucks. But
I will say, this one I only played a couple times, and I loved every...
Descent?
Yeah.
Again, if the first time you play this,
second.
you're just like, Here's the thing. I know it has flaws. It does. It's still fun.
Just like
It's still
Betrayal
really
House
fun.
on the Hill.
Yeah.
Has flaws.
I don't think it
but
has flaws.
man.
Betrayal House on a Hill. I don't know that I ever had a conversation with anybody about it where the word flaw didn't show up.
Broken.
Okay? Yeah. But thank you, Rodfather. Tom gets a tip for a great game. Yay! This is just, it's amazing. It's a good game. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, it's fantastic.
When you said quintessential dungeon crawl, I thought you were going a different direction of that.
Well, no, I mean, but for
10
I think
years,
this came out
yeah.
2005-ish, or I forget what the year it came out. But for a while,
This was
Fantasy
it.
Flight ruled dungeon crawls.
Yeah.
No one
It's
else
kinda
even
fun.
tried. Or they tried, but
Yeah.
you ever hear of a game called Tomb from AEG?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
Okay, so my number 2 is pretty much the first reason I started to be able to cast from my phone or tablet to my TV in my game room. Because this game is what made me think, okay, everyone needs to see this and feel immersed in this. And it is actually the first triple crossover with both of you. And this is, it's Mansions of Madness.
Oh, I do the
edition.
same thing. You got to cast
And
it up and get that surround sound.
This is one that
Oh.
initially I was like, I'm not a huge Cthulhu person. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it.
I'm with you. I'm not huge in Cthulhu.
I'm thinking it's over. Okay, whatever. But it's done a
wrong,
lot.
okay.
But this right here, man, it just feels so good. I mean, when you solve that mystery, and every single one is different. It's really good. I really enjoy this game, and I haven't played everything in it. There's so much more to explore in this, but it's, I mean, you guys have said enough about this, but it's a fantastic game. And to be able to cast it up there, and again, I know Z's not much on theme music, but I would hope with this, you kind of let that ride in the background, because that's what
You got it.
creates that whole atmosphere.
Right.
Oh, I feel like you're right. But
It's-
you were here this morning.
I know. I'm like, I don't speak for you, Z, but need some music with that. So, Mansions of Madness, I love this game.
Z loves the music for this game. He's not here. I'm just gonna say whatever.
Oh,
He does. He likes. He wants you to blare it like loud. He wants to. He won't be. He doesn't want to be able to
I
think
didn't know this.
when he
This
plays.
makes me so happy.
Yes, just
Don't
crank
break
it.
my heart, Z. Say it's true.
That is a
Because the
huge
music
volume
blaring on
knob.
this one.
So there we go. That is not it. There we go. There's Mansions of Madness right there. That's my
Not
number
my fault.
2. Okay.
All right.
My number 2,
I sure hope it's.
It's.
Oh, I know it. I know it. I know it.
I had to build up ready.
I know it. Okay. What is it? What is it? What is it?
See, now this is one.
It's really surprising. It caught me off guard how much I liked it. It made me like video games. It's Divinity Original Sin.
Oh.
Yes. What?
Okay.
No, I mean,
I blame Joey Slide.
I almost wondered if this is an adventure game. I guess it's Dungeon
I
Crawl.
know, right. I went back and forth on this, but no, because you're going, and as you go into locations, you trigger different actions which might change the story and bring the baddies onto the board, which you have to battle in order to further the story. So I did consider this a dungeon crawler. You're
allow it.
you're going through the different pages that are revealed as they go, as you go through the storybook. But this one really. That's so sad. Sorry, I just saw Z's comment. I play on mute. But,
Why?
I feel so small and so bad now. Oh. Don't even, I'm so sad. I don't want to talk about Divinity Original. I do. I do want to talk about Divinity Original Sin. It's so good. So this game made me care. This board game made me care about the video game. And if I'm being completely transparent here, like, explained video games to me. Like, I don't know. I never understood cooldown until I played this game. And I was like, wow. I love cooldowns. This is amazing. And you can see it going down. And it's like, it's a really powerful thing, but you don't know when you get it back. And oh my gosh, and the statuses that they have cooldown as well, they're going to bleed for 3 rounds. So you're planning out their bleed, like, oh, do I let them slow trickle to death? Or do I go in there and like, hi, 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 you know, stabby, stabby. And I love that balance of it as you're going through. The card play is fantastic in this. It has a great, as you go through the campaign and you're building up and changing out your cards and leveling yourself up as you're growing in this character, it made me care not just about the video game, but also about this whole system of video games with the cooldowns, with the statuses. And I am loving the story for a generic fantasy.
Yeah.
You know, you have this power source that you're tapping into, but this collar on that's holding it back, so you're not very powerful. Eventually you break that collar and you get your full power and you're leveling up all the time. Oh, it's so good. So well produced, also just easy to get to the table again with that fold-out book. That makes sense. And the goal of the campaigin is
Don't
to make
tell me, don't spoil it.
No, you gotta know how to win the game, Joey.
Oh, okay.
That's like rules.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you just have to make it through. Like every scenario.
Okay, sorry. You can spoil that for me. Okay, survive. I can't play now. Okay, it's ruined.
you
He's
go
dead the whole
into-
time.
You go into a location and you have no idea how to get out. And so you're going through and exploring this location to try to find the exit to get to the next location, which you have to try to get through. And it furthers the story in such a great and unique way with each session. I absolutely adore Divinity Original Sin. Completely caught me off guard. Something that we were doing a live play for and came in and you're like, ooh, this looks big and heavy. Hey, Milla, you're in charge. I'm like, okay. So I took it and I was at home. I was like, oh, I'm liking this.
There are a couple things that I remember liking a lot about this too. And one is the fact that it's not really really a map, like a big board. You've got 4 rooms or something, and you can kind of make your way over just steps away with the arrows. And then 2, the activations were pretty simple. You either go normal and you're slow or fast.
Yes.
So there's no long thing like you're 2, you're 6, you're all this.
Yeah.
It is just, here's where the heroes go. Are they slower or faster?
Well, right.
So
because you're at a location.
It's pretty simple.
And if you're on the beach, you can go anywhere you want on the beach. So it's not like I have to go through this to get to this room to get to that room. You're on the beach, so it's all interconnected. So movement is really easy. And there's a fantastic player aid also. So, if there's a baddie on the board, you have to go into a combat round, period. So you turn to that page of your player aid, and you know exactly what to do, and all the steps are right there.
Yeah.
If there's not, you can either rest or you can adventure, and boom, there's the two pages in the player book. So it's so easy for new players to jump in, to jump out. It scales really well. Anyway, I could keep going if you want, but I won't because you've already checked out. My number 2, Divinity Original Sin, is fantastic.
You played it.
I'm not convinced it's a dungeon crawl, but
It is.
I only played it that one session. I found it to be fairly hard, actually, which I was not. I felt like it was like, oh man, we were beating on this one guy for a while. Then he finally died. It was like, wow, that was a regular
Well,
guard.
stood at the gate for a while,
We went
though.
slow drip. We poisoned him and then bled him to death.
It was interesting. It didn't hook me as much, but maybe, actually, if anything, I was like, I wonder what this game is like, the video game.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But I'm too busy playing Baldur's Gate, so. All right. My number 2 is a crossover, sort of, with Camilla. And this is also a tie, basically, between all the havens. Okay, we got Gloomhaven.
Okay.
Gloomhaven, Jaw of the Lion, Frosthaven. We'll just show Gloomhaven here. This is a dungeon crawl, but it's also a tactical, very thinky game. Very thinky game. This is not a kick the door down and bash everything in. It can be. The app is phenomenal, right? The app has made me not want to play Gloomhaven again. I don't know if I will or
Right.
not. And Frosthaven, I'm sitting there going, do I wait for the app?
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about Gloomhaven buttons and bugs or whatever it's called because
Not
It's up
yet.
and coming.
well, we'll talk about that in the future. But it's such a robust system. The best thing about Gloomhaven by far to me is the uniqueness of it. The enemies, the heroes are all different. There's not, like, one of the main heroes, the Crag, what's the guy called? The Crag?
Crag. Oh yeah, your hero, Cragheart.
Cragheart.
Yeah.
What is he? You
I
can't
agree
correlate
with
him and
that.
say, oh, he's a barbarian. Well, he throws rocks. That's a big deal. He sets traps. He's also kind of a brute,
Right.
but he's
Oh,
not
interesting.
too big of a brute. And I find that stuff to be interesting. Like the hatchet guy, is he like an archer? No, he's a hatchet.
But he is
throws.
ranged, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, and all the different characters are cool. Someone just said there that it's repetitive. It doesn't have to be repetitive because let me tell you this: you can break the rules. Let's say you're bored of playing the game. Take one of those boxes that you have the characters that you're not supposed to unlock till whatever happens. Just pull it up, open it, and play it. Who cares? I've opened every box and looked at them all. I don't care. What's Isaac going to do to me? I should be careful.
I know. Wow.
As we say this, the words melt off the screen. You've been banned from board game Gloomhaven. But really, there's so many characters, and then there's that expansion, that authorized unofficial expansion that added a ton more stuff. And the Frosthaven characters and Gloomhaven, it's just the way the character is done. It's pretty good. So that's true. Bonacor got killed by the Crag. Rod had an ability that would do 1 damage to everyone next to him. So he'd run up to a group of enemies, and Bonacor was always standing in that group of enemies, and he'd hit everyone. He would also hit Bonacor. And Bonacor's like, "What are you doing? Maybe you shouldn't stand by the enemies all the time."
This is the digital one or the?
Huh?
Digital?
Yeah, they were playing
Oh,
online
yeah,
for a bit.
nice.
Yeah.
It's great because Digital also has no mercy. You're like, well, maybe it didn't hit you. Digital's like, nah, you got hit.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
can't bend the rules.
This one again is on my short list too, but because I've played the app more than I played the game, yeah,
It kinda
but
killed it for
the
you.
system's great.
All right, to the number ones.
This is it.
Is it number one?
Number one
All right, hang
game.
on, let me look here. What have you not said What could this possibly
This one worries
be?
me because I was quite certain this was a dungeon crawler and no one's mentioned it.
I'm wondering if we have a crossover on our number one.
And you mentioned something that made me think that you don't think it's going to be on anyone's list.
Wait, is it Oathsworn? Because if so, you are wrong.
No, but I'm glad
Okay.
it's not now.
Yeah, good, because that's not a dungeon crawler. That's a fantastic boss battler.
Vagrant Song?
No.
That's a dun.
I will say, wow, one name? Rasputin?
Oh, I think we have a crossover.
Says Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yup.
Oh, that's my number 35. I don't like it.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Is it because Rasputin? Are you anti-Rasputin?
Well, yes. I feel like it's okay to be anti-Rasputin.
Oh,
No, I was bored by it.
really?
Go ahead. I won't say anything else. I know I'm in a minority. Go ahead and love it.
You are. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Well, at least you put it above Escape the Dark Castle. So, all right, this is...
Barely, but yes.
Yeah, that is sad. It's pretty close. All right, so this is Cthulhu Death May Die. This is pretty much... monsters are just obstacles for you they're just cannon fodder in this. You're just trying to get to the big bad. This one, it's really I've ever heard people say, look, the game is broken because if you get Rasputin and the kid, you're going to win. You know, which is fine because the game is hard enough. If you give me an
I do
advantage,
love the kid, Lizzie Borden.
yeah.
So good.
Yes.
So
When an axe
crazy.
gave her mother 40 whacks.
She's
So-
so good.
So this one right here it's so fun, and it is a hard game. It's very simple rules wise, but it's great. I mean, again, I'm not a huge Cthulhu fan, but this one kind of. I've never even fought Cthulhu in this game.
I like you say you're not a huge Cthulhu fan. What was your number 2?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I had the choice of that or Journeys of Middle Earth. I went to Mansions of Madness too, but anyway, so yeah, this is number one. I'm sure it's a crossover with your number one, right?
It is a crossover
So-
with my number one.
No.
My favorite thing about it is it ties into, I realized as I was doing this list that I really like this mechanism because it has it in lobotomy too, and it also had it in the others, but this idea of you taking on something bad and trying to balance, going crazy, taking corruption, whatever. I love that in this one, that you're getting these madness, and as you do, it's unlocking more and more skills and more powerful skills. So you can't be afraid to take that madness. You have to take
Right.
it to really build up and be able to do this game. But don't take too much because once you start taking it, man, it snowballs quickly. So you have to know and really play when to do it and when to take it on. And I love that feeling. And I love the two, you kind of mentioned this, of the two-part system of the game. So the great old one is not going to come out until one of two triggers happens mid-game. And I love that mechanism. You know, we kind of joked about Oathsworn, which I don't think is a dungeon crawler. But one thing I love about that is how you have your story phase and then you
Right.
have your battle phase. This kind of gives me that same feeling because in the beginning, it's setting up for that great old one. He's like laying down his plans, right? And all his little minions are coming out and they're doing his little dirty work and you're trying to fight it and complete this objective. And if you get too far in your objective, he comes down early. Or if you don't, they get so far, then he comes down at this one spot. And then it just changes the course of the game. And it's like free-for-all frenzy, trying to
Yeah.
make sure you don't go too mad, but meet that objective and take him out. And if you play one scenario, you're climbing up Cthulhu to do it. And there's just, the scenarios feel very different.
Oh yeah, this is
But-
Z's other favorite dungeon crawler.
I know when you said
I forgot about this one.
when you said this is his favorite claustrophobia, like, wow, I know Z loves this one. Why didn't you put it on the list?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so I love Cthulhu Death May Die, and I love that
Okay.
mechanism and idea of balancing the bad to make yourself more powerful, but
Yeah,
not getting
I agree.
overzealous to where you end the game. I love it.
That's-
Yeah. Number one, the best ever, Tom.
Actually,
All right,
number
wait.
one is you got to know what number one is. It's one of my favorite games.
I'm guessing Massive Darkness 2.
That's correct.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Massive Darkness
Yeah.
2.
There's
is
One
so
surprise is not on
good.
your list, but I guess
We'll get to that in a
later.
second. Massive Darkness
this is
2.
stupid. Yeah, I knew
this
this.
is so fantastic because every character plays differently. That is,
Just makes me
and it's
sad.
also kick the door in, chuck dice, and it's one scenario I don't got to play through a
I'm
campaign.
not listening. This hurts me.
Oh,
how
yeah.
good it is.
I love this game. I also like the fact that when you're in darkness, you're better.
That's
Usually, like when you're in
interesting.
darkness, you're not better. But here, you get to roll an extra darkness die.
So they still
Yeah.
use the darkness thing from the first one, but they have made it better in this.
yes,
Yeah.
there is nothing. There's not even one thing even remotely better about the first edition.
Why would you call it two? Just to maybe not back
No,
it?
on this, I actually think
I didn't realize that's what you're talking
I
about.
would argue that Simon lost 50% of their sales on this by calling it Massive Darkness 2. I really do.
That
They lost
difference,
me.
The first and
Yes,
second.
I almost I almost didn't play this. I was like, the first one and the second one, I don't really need more of the same.
Is it more different than Mansions of Madness 1 and 2?
It's about the same.
Okay, wow, because that's big. Wow.
It's one of the biggest changes between first and second I've ever seen.
The good news is you can get this, Joey.
It's expensive.
All right, what's the one that you're surprised isn't in my top 10?
Imperial Assault, I thought would be up there
That's
for
13.
You. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
11 was Vagrant Song.
Yeah, I
Vagrant
forgot
Song
about
is good.
that.
12 is Madara, which would be higher if the art was not so idiotic. You
Okay.
saw the
That's
art
a
for
word.
that.
Yeah, that's a word. I have other words.
Well, sexist, whatever it might
Yeah,
be.
I have lots of
it's a
words for
great
that.
game, but yeah. Then Imperial Assault, level 7 Omega Protocol is great.
Okay.
Mice and
I want to
Mystics.
play that one.
Yeah, Mice and Mystics was on my short list.
Then a really dumb looking one, but it's a good game. Super Fantasy, Ugly Snouts.
Oh,
Assaults.
okay.
Then Zombicide, Bloodborne is pretty decent.
Okay.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's based on the video game.
Oh,
It's kind of a
I've never
plug and
seen that
play.
one.
Cutthroat Caverns.
Really?
I don't know if you guys could. I don't know if I'd want to play Cutthroat Caverns with Camilla.
Why?
Do you
Campfire
know what it is?
Chronicles?
No.
So Cutthroat Caverns, there's a big enemy in the middle, and we're all playing cards doing damage to the enemy. The only person who gets experience is the person who hits him last. And I could play a card that's like, Camilla trips and falls, she only does 1 damage, and then I kill the guy and take it. But if you die, and you can die, you take different damage from the monster, then the other people have to keep going by themselves, and you might not make it. So I need you guys to stay alive. I need you to help me kill the monster. But only one person wins the game.
This sounds to be cooperative, Tom.
It is. It's the only semi-co-op game I
What?
like.
Also, it sounds terrible.
I saw Campfire Chronicles, and for me, that was an adventure game for me. That's why I didn't put it on here.
Which one?
Campfire.
Campfire Chronicles is adventure, yes.
Okay. But would have
Paper
been on my list.
Dungeons, roll and write one. Nova Atis, we haven't played enough
Yeah.
of it, but I don't feel like it's going to go much higher.
It could be.
Core Quest would have been way higher on my list, but it's a kid's game for me, and
Right.
I don't want to play it unless I'm playing
You
with
wouldn't
my
play-
son or
okay, yeah,
something.
that makes sense.
And I feel the same way about Stuffed Fables and Mice and Mystics.
See, Stuffed Fable I play on my own. Yeah, we talked about that. For me, I also had Fire Team Zero is on my short list.
What's Fire Team Zero?
It's gosh, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a dungeon crawler, but it's really really simple. That's pretty much what I remember. It wasn't on my list because I haven't played it in so long. It's been like at least a year since I played it, but it's
I don't know what the game is.
I don't know how to describe it.
Fire Team Zero.
Fire
It sounds
Team
like
Zero.
a SEAL game or something.
It's not, no. But it is a scenario based. It's a very simple board. It's not tiles. It's already set up.
Oh, this one. I never played it.
Oh, really?
ooh.
It has very simple rules, and that's what I
Black
remember
Fortress.
of it. But again, it's been like a year, and I didn't go back and look it up
Space
to
Cadets, I
remind
wish.
myself how to play. But that was a short list one for me as well. Other than that, Clank Catacombs and Sword and Sorcery, we talked about those.
Now, the one
well-
everyone's asking about is Hero Quest itself.
Yeah.
And I like Hero Quest back in the day. I'm very
agree.
nostalgic for it, but it really doesn't hold up. And we played Hero Quest 1.0001. What's it called?
Dungeon Quest Saga or Dungeon?
Yeah, so look for that review
Yeah.
next week, actually. But
Spoiler.
in spoiler, it's Hero Quest with a slightly different combat system.
Yeah.
They're fine, but you just go through and do the same thing over and over and over. And they're great for kids. As a kid, I think I would have played that to death.
Right. You make your
Except
own
I
missions.
wouldn't now because all these other dungeon crawls exist, and I would be playing one of these to death.
If you
If I could convince my parents to drop $200 on that game. I can't
Right.
imagine being a kid in today's gaming world whose
There's no
parents
way.
aren't gamers. And you're trying to
Right.
persuade your parents to back a Kickstarter for you.
on Simon.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way. I really want Galactus,
My parents would
Mom.
never have done that.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting Galactus.
So when are you going to get this? In a year, maybe.
Maybe, yeah,
I'm not
if
sure.
it's fun.
you don't even like Marvel then.
That my mom would definitely have said that.
I've heard that so many times.
Absolutely.
You still haven't played your last Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, good point. I hear that from my wife.
The argument against Oathsworn is it's a boss battler,
Right.
not a
Yeah.
dungeon crawl.
Yeah,
and that
very much
was
so.
Boss Battlers and Adventure. Those were the ones that, man, there were some that didn't make it because
and
of
I mean,
those.
I don't want to spoil future lists, but yeah, Oathsworn will make an appearance at some
I can tell you
point.
something that didn't make the list because they suck.
Which,
Escape the Dark Castle, One Deck Dungeon, Dungeon Quest. I hate that game. Dungeon,
Really?
that old
Yeah.
game. Bard Sung, Masmora, Heroes of Arcadia. And those are the only ones I think that suck because the next
Okay.
one's Quest Kids, which my son loves, and I'm not going to say anything bad against it.
Right.
It's just that if my son was not in the room, I'm never playing that game. It's for him, you know,
yeah.
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of
What
great.
about-
This is a plethora of riches, though.
Oh,
What about
so
Too Many
good.
Bones? Did you not put that on? I haven't played it enough to do it. Is that a dungeon crawl?
I did not. I consider that more adventure.
Yeah, I think so.
Or
You
boss
know-
battler, because you're going through this adventure in order to get to the main boss at the end. So I thought of it for a minute and I discounted it because of that.
Okay.
I would not consider it a dungeon crawl.
And then Journey's Middle Earth, you guys didn't put on because you had mansions, right?
I haven't played it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the thing is, I thought about that. I don't know that I can consider Journeys of Middle Earth. You're not going from room to room. You're going from outside area to outside area.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And also, Mansion of Madness is a one-off. I
That's
was
the biggest
very
thing.
enamored with Journeys of Middle Earth when I first played it. I really was. I
Yep.
liked it a lot. But then and I sit around thinking, which one do I want to play? I'm like, I don't want to play that same beginning mission.
I know.
And or find some people that keep going through. I just want to play one time. I can grab 3 people who never played Mansion of Madness
You
before
can.
and play it with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's okay, folks, to make dungeon crawlers that are not campaign oriented.
Yep.
I wish there was more of them.
It's also okay
really
to make
do.
them campaign for some of us like that.
No, but I mean, I don't
yeah, I
think there's a
agree.
bad idea with having both.
Or like,
Yeah.
I mean, a Lobotomy 2, for example, it's the main campaign, but then they have the nightmare scenarios, which are one at a time. You had one nightmare that you're going through. And so it's one-off scenarios. I like that there's a good balance of that. And there's multiple of them. There's like 10 or 12 of them in there. And so it's a good amount. It's not, if you want to play, here's one. No, they balanced it well.
Oh, Anthony wants to know why the hate for Dungeon Quest? Because literally, I think, I might be off, I think it's like you have a 17% chance of surviving the game. What? No. You go in a room and you're like, you turn a card over and it says you found nothing. And that's the best possible thing.
Oh, that's hard.
That's so dumb. I hate everything about it. Everything.
Now, One Deck Dungeon, have you always hated that one?
One Deck Dungeon is just so fiddly.
Yeah.
It just feels super random and there's all these fiddly pieces you're
The app
moving
is
around.
good, though.
That's what I played. I played the app. I didn't play the actual One Deck Dungeon.
You felt it was fiddly there?
Yeah, because you're just sliding dice
then
around.
never play the card game then.
Nah. We've not played Dungeon Universalis because none of us has a spared life. We got that game and we opened up. We were like, "What? Ooh!" So,
That's a lot.
all right, yes, Pete. We noticed you only said good about the CMON games. There's other good games too. You know, I'm just saying. All
But
righty,
I am a sucker for Simon. It's true.
we are. Anyway, lots of good dungeon crawls. Let us know yours in the comments. Tell us your favorite one. If you see someone else who said your favorite game, thumb it up, and we'll see what game gets thumbed to the top. All right, it's like a voting thing.
Okay.
So just say the name of the game, and then underneath that, make another comment about why you like it. Then someone else thumb that up. So that way, there's no repetition. And
Like-
then we'll give an award to... No, we're not giving an award.
If it's Escape the Dark
Whoa!
Castle, we will give an award to it.
There might be 50 people who vote on that now just as a
Just to get something.
spiteful...
You really will.
That game actually does have a lot of fans.
It does.
I found that out after my
Joey's
review.
house.
So,
I'm one of them.
alrighty, we'll do the adventure games, not anytime soon because we got Dice Tower West coming up and stuff, but I'm already putting my list together for it. I'm very
They're not too
excited
far
about
away,
it.
so it's definitely
Yep.
fresh, and I want to talk about them. I have things to say, Tom.
You already have
Ooh.
your list done?
I have it probably 50% done.
Ooh, that's
I've got to
pretty good.
whittle it a little bit, but
We
yeah.
have time to work on your intros then. So
What? That was hurtful.
I'm okay
Also
with that.
true.
Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Camilla.
And we're going dungeon delving.
We're going to crawl.
Yes, on Monday.